Hello and welcome to day one's build diary for my Glacial Cascade Elementalist. So this is my second character of the league and it's really freaking fun. So the idea is that I wanted to play the new Elementalist. So if you don't know what that means, the new Elementalist, they changed the way that that golems work for Legion of the Primordial. So before there was two nodes. It was like Legion of Primordial and Bastion of Discord, something of Discord. But now there's just one. And instead it used to give you like Legion of Primordial would give you +1 and the other one would give you +1. Well, now you just get two golems. They're resummoned. You get 100% increased effective buffs and they're immune to elemental damage. On top of that, they also changed Bringer of Ruin, and they increased the effect of Heralds and the mana reservation of Heralds. So what this does is it makes it really fucking cool to play like a quad Herald elemental build, which is what I am. So, the way this works is Glacial Cascade is a cold skill. Okay, it's a cold physical AoE spell. It's tags. Okay. It basically, the way that I'm playing this is going to be like a Trinity version. So I'm running all 4 Heralds, so Ice, Ash, Purity, or sorry, 3 Heralds, and then Hatred. So I'm doing primarily cold damage. So we'll have Shaper of Winter, we'll have Shaper of Flames, and Shaper of Storms. So what these say is that we're always going to be igniting, chilling, and shocking. Okay, and then because we're running all the Heralds, along with Bringer of Ruin, we're getting more effect from the Heralds, along with Discord, Artisan, and Presage, we're getting more effective Heralds. So we're basically just scaling the shit out of Heralds and elemental damage. If you remember, the build kind of reminds me of plays like the Herald build in Delirium League, where you played it as like a Scion or a Inquisitor, and you use cluster jewels to scale the shit out of your Heralds and Auras. It's kind of similar to that, where you're just scaling the hell out of Heralds. So, that being said, the skill tree is pretty simple. You're taking Herald nodes, we're taking all the cold damage nodes, we're taking Power Charge and Crit, because we are Crit. We're taking more Crit nodes. We're taking the Reservation, just so we get a little more Reservation. The Golem nodes, so we get an extra Golem and more buff effect. More Crit, more Elemental, and more Crit. Okay? And then from there, you kind of just do whatever. Like, I'm probably going to take this Power Charge node, this Jewel Socket. I may, excuse me, I may reorganize this a little bit, so I come up here and I can take these block nodes. I'll probably come over and take these block nodes. I'll take, where is these block nodes? Take these life nodes. But yeah, it's really fun to play, and it plays really smoothly for a self-cast build. So I'm currently in Act 8. Level 60. Basically, I leveled this up the other night, and I should have recorded it, but I didn't, so here we are. Also, this may take a minute to load, so I'm going to skip through it. Alright, so now that 5-minute loading screen is done, I can kind of show you what I've got going on here. So we're running all 3 Heralds, Ice, Ash, and Purity. And on top of that, we're running ignore the Grace Aura, or the Haste Aura, that's from my Mercenary. On top of that, I'm running Infernal Legion on all of my Golems. Because of our Golems are being immune to elemental damage, this just gives them fire damage in a radius. And so basically, they're just like little, I don't know, they're just kind of like setting everything on fire, which makes us deal more damage. As far as gear, nothing great. The rings I had, I had them. The wand, I've just been buying wands from the vendor and alching them. Helmet is out. Gloves are out. The belt, I got this from an Abyss. The shield, I think I got this from the black market thingy. I don't really remember where I got that shield. As far as gem links that go, it's super simple. Glacial Cascade, Echo, Power Charger and Crit, Added Cold, Increased Crit, and then eventually you run Trinity once you have all three of these nodes, because you're doing all three damage types. If instead you want to run two of these, which is what I probably will do, because I don't think I'm going to run the Shock, because I'm not really running... You could swap out Herald of Purity for Herald of Thunder and do all three of these, but I think I'm going to run Trinity, but I'm going to do Winter and Flames, and then I'm going to do Bringer of Ruin, just so I get that increased buff effect. But, like I was saying, the build is super fun to play, because you have all of the heralds, you just walk around and everything explodes. Now, obviously nothing is rendering for me because the game hates me, but yeah, it reminds me so much of the old heraldry builds, and aura stacking, because that's essentially what you're doing, is you're aura stacking in a way. But I wanted to play a build that, with the new Elementalist, I didn't want to play golems because I don't want to grind out the jewels in Soul Self-Found. And I didn't want to play EA ballistas because I league started as a totem build. So, that being said, this was kind of where I thought I would go. The single target is incredible just because of the amount of flat damage we have. And, yeah, I will say another build that I've seen a lot of people doing in this league, which is the same kind of... It's the same system, you're just using a different skill, is Wintertide brands. So instead of self-casting Glacial Cascade, you're playing it as a brand character, and you just walk around dropping your brands on everything, and your brands do the damage. I may end up switching to that. I do really like the brand playstyle, so that is something I may end up swapping to. But for now, this is perfectly fine. I do have an Arcanist brand set up. I do have Frostbite as well with Frost Bomb. Eventually, I will probably swap, or I will take Whispers of Doom. I will probably end up anointing Whispers of Doom, which will give me 2 curses, and then I'll run Ellie Weakness along with Frostbite. But you can see, I mean, you're just walking around, you're tapping right click, you're blowing up the whole screen. Because you're crit, everything is safe. Because of the just pure amount of buff effect you're stacking from your golems, you get a lot of fucking regen. So right now I currently have 4 life regen until I hit my stone golem, which I summoned the wrong golem. So I go from 4 life regen to 217 life regen, which is a lot of life regen. And eventually, if you do, I have been seeing people take Zealot's Oath, which you basically play like a hybrid build, and you stack energy shield instead of life, and then you convert all of that fucking regen to ES regen, and you essentially become immortal. Yeah, so that sounds cool. I'm not real sure if I'll end up doing that. I played a ES build, CI build last league, and it was super fun, but I played it in Trade League, and I'm not real great with crafting ES gear, so that may be something that I just have to figure out if I want to go that route. Because of the skill tree, you are really close to CI, as well as Wicked Ward, so you could play this CI if you wanted to. And I think that wouldn't be that bad of an option. But we'll get down here and I will show you some good single target. You can see kind of how it is. But the mapping on this is just incredible. I think you could probably use Unleash with this. if you wanted to, but the amount of cast speed that I have, I really don't need it. What is my cast? Yeah, I 0.23 cast speed, so, I mean, that's a lot, and most of that is coming from my juiced up fucking, lightning golem. So, just to show you here, I go from 27 to 23. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but you can definitely feel that change. Alright, so here is a good single target example. And where's he going to teleport? There we are. And dead. So, like, it's just, it's so much fucking damage. And, like, my wand's not even great. Like, it's some spell damage, some cast speed, and I put cold damage on it. It's not a good wand. But, yeah, I hope this build is probably going to be one of the builds that I play the most this league. I'm a huge fan of self-cast. I always have been, and especially any kind of elemental skill. So yeah, hopefully you guys stick around and check out the diary for it, because I think it's going to be super cool. So, I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video, and you have yourselves a wonderful day.